Hello.
How you doing? How you doing?
I'm fine. How are you?
I'm doing good, doing good.
Good to meet you.
You as well. I appreciate this opportunity.
Oh, that's okay. So is it Decarlos, Carlos, or Los?
You know, I go by Los. Los. That's what I normally go by.
Okay, Los.
Yeah.
Okay. Decarlos is quite an unusual name, isn't it?
A little bit, a little bit. I'm Hispanic and African American.
Oh, really? Oh, so
Yeah,
you speak Spanish too?
a little bit, a little bit. Not much. My pops, he was fluent in it. That's where I get it from. But I didn't really try to learn it too much. I was doing enough to communicate with him.
Which country was he from?
So he's actually military brat, you know what I mean? So he was born and raised in Little Rock, Arkansas because his family was stationed there.
Oh,
Yeah.
I see. All right. Okay. All right. So is that where you are now, in Arkansas?
No, I'm actually in Oklahoma City.
Oh, I
Yeah,
see.
my family ended up coming to Oklahoma City, yeah.
Okay, okay. And you like it there?
Yeah, it depends on the day. You know what I mean? It's not a big city. It's kind of quiet here, but everybody knows everybody, so you feel comfortable, you know what I mean?
Okay, okay.
Yeah.
Well, I saw that you were doing some good things on Instagram, and I came across Pipology on YouTube, and I thought, oh, that's a brilliant name. So then I followed through onto Instagram to check you guys out, and here we are today. So thank you for accepting the offer for an interview, and I'm sure it will lead to more people knowing about your work and maybe even joining up with what you do.
I love it. Any opportunity I get to empower our community, I take it with no hesitation.
Oh, that's
so appreciate
brilliant.
you reaching out, for real.
Oh, that's brilliant. That's really good. Okay, so I've got a set of questions that we can go through and, just answer as much as you like. This is not timed, I mean, it could take 10 minutes, it could take half an hour or an hour. I haven't set a particular time. It just depends on how it flows from you, really. Okay. So you say as much as you like to any of the questions, and feel free to interject things which I'm not even asking. Okay, so could you describe your early life for us?
Yeah, most definitely. So growing up was pretty rough. I kind of came from a background of a military family. My mother and my father, we moved, my brother, older brother, they moved a lot when he was born. I kind of got stuck in Oklahoma because that's where my pops got stationed at. Other than that, it's been this straight OKC living. I do a lot of traveling still with different things that I do or whatever with my real estate company and my coffee company and a few things like that. But other than that, it's just been OKC, ride or die for my city, just trying to put us on, trying to give people an opportunity to learn from different things that I'm doing and other people that I've kind of shadowed as well.
Okay, all right. And tell me about your education.
So education-wise, I went to Langston University for my bachelor's degree. It's a HBCU. And at Langston University, I was able to obtain 2 bachelor's degrees, one in supply chain management and another in organizational management. Then I went on to Webster University, which is an Ivy League in St. Louis. And I went there and got my MBA in managerial leadership.
Okay, all right. Gotta take this guy seriously. 2 degrees and an MBA. Goodness. So how many years in all was that studying?
I knocked it out in 5 years.
Really?
Yeah. I kind of was that guy that was kind of tripling up on classes, taking 21 hours, getting sign-offs with 23 hours to kind of get stuff done. I really just wanted to get done with school, but it was because I was told to go to school. That's what society put in my head, and it was still a blessing. I learned a lot. I was able to meet a lot of good brothers there, a lot of good sisters there. Ended up pledging Alpha Phi Alpha fraternity back in 2004. And so that really, really helped me out as far as me seeing people that are in my culture doing things on a positive stint, opposed to where I came from growing up in I guess they would call it a ghetto. What I called it was I called it home.
Yeah.
Everybody in Oklahoma City know what the panic zone is. That's where I grew up at. And if you can go by the name on how rough it was, but everybody back there, you know, was home. It was family to me, so we wasn't scared. We all ran together. We all was good. You know what I mean? But it still motivated me to want to go to school and do something to better my life and get me in a better financial situation, and hopefully bring people with me on the way up.
Okay, and what was your profession once you started working?
So my profession is kind of a weird one, and I won't really talk about it too much on here. But I have some government ties, so I have a classified gig. Put it like that. That's all I can really say. But I've done that for a long, long time.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. So from your profile, I discovered that you've been trading for 12 years and
That's
you've
correct.
recently started up Pipology. So tell me a little bit about Pipology.
Yeah, most definitely. So yeah, like you said, 12 years in the game. It was rough starting out because honestly, this is something that I wasn't supposed to figure out. You know, people I was trying to get mentorship from wasn't really hearing me, or the cost was like tens of thousands of dollars. I had a mentor that actually took me on and took me serious and just kind of showed me the ropes. But it took me a good 9 years to really figure out how this thing worked, right? So I was blowing accounts left and right. So after that 9-year mark hit, something resonated. You know, I started really, really diving into like my education and seeing how other people's trading. And I also realized that there's not one trading style. Everybody has their own. So what's working for one person didn't work for the other, right? But you would get these people putting out these courses that it was like, yo, you're gonna be up 100% win rate and this and that and the other, you know, just selling false dreams, you know. So what I did was I started building our own trading style. Once I did my own trading style, I started seeing my profits get more consistent, right? I had another friend, Bobby Will, this is what his name is, and then Jeremy Jahian is what they call him on Instagram, Jeremy Cash. We all just kind of partner up. We used to do things together back in the day in other business ventures. And so come to find out, we all just kind of came full circle. They were doing Forex, I was doing Forex. So we just kind of collided and recreated Pipology. So I'm 1/3 of the Pipology ownership. We've been established for about not even 100 days yet, I don't even think.
Really?
Yeah. And it's been
Really
growing massively.
fresh.
YouTube has been blowing up. I think we're at like 13-something thousand subscribers. Jeremy's page, he has another page. His is at like 80-something thousand subscribers right now.
Yeah, yeah.
And it's pure organic. It's not any marketing behind the YouTube. We're trying to get into that eventually, but it's been so crazy. We're trying to keep up with the demand, you know. So it's been a blessing so far.
Absolutely. And have the other two been trading for the same amount of time as you?
Nah, so I guess I'm the old trader in the group. Bobby's been trading for a few years. Jay Hand's been trading for about 5 years, I believe. So you put it in order, it'll be me, Jeremy, and then Bobby. But like I said, everybody has their own skill set. We kind of got it broken down into teams, right? So you got the Black Squad, which is myself. You got Bobby, which is more of the technical analysis. Then you got Jay Hand, he's more of the swing / scalper guy within the Forex community. And we all have different trading styles. You know, my trading style is more artificial intelligence, expert advisors, basically things in the market that are helping people pinpoint entries and exits. Those are the most important things about Forex is when you get in and when you get out, right? If you can get that down, you'll consistently make profit. So that's what the Black Squad is about, and that's what we kind of build a community around that. We all just kind of hone each other's strengths, and then anybody's weaknesses, we hold each other up to make sure we don't have a weakness.
Okay. Well, I a few years ago, I started learning about Forex, so I understand some of the terminology. Have you actually found an EA that works for you?
Most definitely. So our community is very unique, right? I partner with different companies. They reach out to me and they say, hey, we'll give you our EA for free, or we let you beta test it for a couple of days, things like that. So I've tried thousands of them. I won't put their companies out there.
Really?
Yeah. I back test. That's what I do every day for the company is back test new EAs, new artificially intelligent powered EAs, things like that. And for a long time, I found a few that was working a little while, but it'll fall out or they won't update the software or something will go wrong. And I can't promote something that I'm not believing in myself.
Of course,
you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So I recently partnered with a company that has 2 different EAs that I'm utilizing for my community. And one is called Alexander, which is a auto trader, well, semi-automatic trading, where you have to accept or deny the trades. The accuracy, I can't say over the phone over this because it's disclaimer forms and stuff like that
Yeah,
I'm
understood.
tied into the company with. But it's been very accurate. We host like every Thursday we host a call over one of the AI powered tools we have, and every Sunday we host a call over the other one we have. And that's what I'm talking to you about now, which is Alexander. The one I do actually tonight, we've been having about anywhere between 100 to 300 people on the line every week for the last month. It's been pretty massive. And it's called wedge alerts, Aries wedge alerts. And if you know anything about Forex, wedges and M's and W's are the most profitable formations in the market, right? Those are the most profitable patterns in the market. So when you have artificial intelligence or machine learning kicking off an alert to tell you when to get in the market or what to be looking for to draw out those wedges, that's powerful. Because where I come from trading, I was up at 3 in the morning every morning trying to catch the swings in the market, trying to catch these patterns, trying to, draw them out myself.
So you were up for the London markets then?
All day, every day. I was doing
3
that for
in the
years.
morning? No.
Yeah. So my days get kind of crazy, but when you're trying to secure the bag, to change your future, man, sacrifice is key in anything you do. And you got to be consistently sacrificing to get to that level,
So are you saying you don't need to do the 3 a.m. waking up anymore?
I haven't. I've been blessed to hone that EA that I got, that I push into the community. And it's really helping a lot. And then again, my other partners, they have different templates that we're working with that send out alerts as well. So as opposed to you sitting looking at a computer all day, you're literally looking at your phone like, oh, I got an alert come in, like a text message. It takes you 2 seconds to open a text message and look at it, right?
Yes.
Same thing in Forex. If I see a text message come in from an alert system that I have programmed, right, I see what direction is going in. I see what my entry level is. I jump in. I go back to sleep. Set my take profit and my stop loss. I'm back in bed.
Okay.
It's that simple, because you got to believe in your own systems. And so the programs we're pushing out there, we only push out things that we believe in. After that, of course, the people have to actually learn how to trade. So we have like one-on-one courses and things like that to help people out. But people have to manage their own accounts. We just give you the tools to help you become successful. Yeah, cut that learning curve down,
That's good. That's good. So you got new people joining up with you every week? It's
been wild. Yeah. Okay. If I had to put a number by it, we're probably averaging over 200-300 people a week signing into our community.
Wow.
That's just on Instagram, and that's just on like a few programs. On YouTube, we're getting over 100 people subscribing to our channel a day. We're averaging anywhere between 80 to 90% retention rate of those people staying in the community, because we're consistently pumping out new information, and we're not hitting people over the head. We're not here to make money off of you from selling some crap. Like, we're not selling that. What we're doing is we're trying to build a community with integrity that people can actually come and feel comfortable, and they can actually leverage a product. And we have chat rooms within in different squads, right? So if somebody got a question, they can ask a question to my chat room, and somebody will reply. If I can't reply, somebody on the team will reply. I don't even know half these people. They just want to help each other win. Like, that's what my shirt is: trade, win, grow. Like, that's my little slogan. You know what I mean? Like, we trade together, we win together, and we grow together.
Have you got Pipology on there as well?
Oh, you already know I do.
Of course. Oh,
most definitely.
Oh, well done. Honestly, I really want to see this become a really big movement, because you could help so many people, if they're willing to come in and learn. It takes time to learn, so I hope you're warning people it doesn't happen overnight.
Most definitely. That's why we give them the community to kind of rock with us, because a lot of people, you get those few that think that you can just copy and paste a signal and that's all you got to do in Forex. Like, nah, you got to understand what technical analysis is. You got to understand how to count a pip. You know what I mean? What a TP and a SL is. Like, these little small things, the basics of Forex is what we try to teach the people. But when they jump in and don't listen and learn, then, hey, it's on them. We're going to be a community that's we're not going to condone like laziness. Like, if you're going to be lazy, don't come rock with us. If you ain't going to listen and learn, don't rock with us. If you ain't ready to get in front of your computer and like really go through our courses and our material, don't even waste your time. But if you're ready for that type of commitment, we're going to give you all the time we got.
And I think your entry point for the course is actually very reasonable. I mean, some people are out there charging $5,000, and you're charging, is it $100?
Yeah, for our course, it's pretty cheap. You know, we sold so many courses since.
How
we
long is
launched.
that gonna last?
Huh?
How long is that price gonna last?
It's gonna stay the same. It's gonna stay the same. What we do is, like I said, I'm not the kind of person that I'm making money in the markets. So I don't need the consumer's money to sustain my income. You know what I mean? So it takes us time to build these courses, and we actually add to the courses all the time, and we push out new material all the time. So the people that are coming out to our community, that money's being reinvested to do what? Explore and look at new products and get better and better every single day. You know what I mean?
Okay. Are you bringing a book out on your styles of trading?
You know, I've been asked by a few different people. Actually, I can't say names, but a few celebrities reached out to me recently, and they wanted me to do what you're saying, like putting a course together. So I went ahead and I started partnering with a few people. I'm building an ebook, and the ebook is going to be tying in Forex to real estate. It's two different things that I'm really passionate about. And it's going to be kind of how, like, the basis of Forex. It's going to be, how do you use Forex as a vehicle, or how do you compare that vehicle to another vehicle that somebody may have? Somebody may have an e-com store. That's a vehicle to build some funding, to build some capital. And then you reinvest that money into something more sustainable, like a hard asset, real estate, commercial buildings, things like that.
Yeah, one of the things I noticed from the Pipology website is that you had a few other businesses at the bottom of your website, which I thought was interesting, because it looked like, you know, there was an e-commerce business on there. There was a chef as well.
So you're probably looking at my partner's site, Jeremy. So we have two different funnels. So Jeremy Cash had a business already doing Forex, and that's how we kind of realigned and started talking again. So yeah, he promotes. He's really big on like credit and big on like courses and things like that. So we kind of merged the two communities, but he still has his own flow of things that he does. When you say chef, I don't know if he has that on his side or not. He probably does. The dude does a lot. He's a serialpreneur just like myself. Yeah.
How many businesses would you say you're involved with? Is that 3? Because I know you've got the coffee, you've got Pipology, and real estate. Is that 3, or are there more?
Yeah, it's those 3. Those are the top 3. I have another business that is launching pretty soon. That's something that I got to get you on the NDA to even know about it right now, but it's going to be massive, and I hope I can actually get back on here to talk to the people about this. It's more of a organization that I'm building to really give back to our communities, right? I got the idea from just sleeping at night, just seeing what's going on in the world and seeing what's going on in the African-American community. I want to be able to really hone in and help out in different businesses, from funding to giving out, you know, different monetary awards and things like that. But it's going to be a product that's going to help fuel that campaign, you know, so more to follow on that.
That's wonderful.
Yeah, those top 3.
Wonderful. Because that's one of our dreams, to be able to do that as well. So maybe we should have an English chapter of what you're doing, and vice versa, an American chapter of what we're doing. And, you know,
facts.
It's actually quite nice to see a group of guys getting together, you know, because sometimes people think that black people can't work together. They're too busy falling out and arguing.
Yeah.
You know? So it's actually nice to see that you're working together and things seem to be going well.
Most definitely. That's been the so it's funny you said that, because I dealt with that for a long time, trying to get us to work together, because we're more powerful in numbers, right? Yeah. But it's always been that thought of, you know, that barrel in the crab, whatever you call it. I mean, crab in the barrel concept, where somebody's always hating on somebody else and this and that. You know, these 2 brothers are my family. You know, like, I trust these guys not only with my business, but with my life. You know what I mean? And so there's no ego there. There's no, yo, you're doing more than me. Like, nah, if I eat, we all eat. And that's the community I'm trying to build. I want people to feel like that and be able to trust that. Like, just because it's not your time now doesn't mean it ain't gonna be your time later. So if somebody is doing something that's actually changing the culture, get on that wagon with them, support them. Don't hate on them. You know, don't throw shade or try to throw negativity on their page. Like, if you only imagine how many people try to tear us down on a daily, and we just ignore it, you know, because you know it's somebody else that's trying to just troll and get shine or whatever it may be. We just ignore it, we delete, we block, and we keep it moving because we have a mission, right? And God is powering my fuel. So nothing else is really in my way. My blinders are up. I'm tunnel vision until I get to the top of where I want to go, until I bring as many people as I possibly can with me.
Oh, that's lovely. That really is lovely. So tell me about coffee. When did you get into coffee then?
Most definitely. So Just Good Coffee. So I'm the CFO of Just Good Coffee. The CEO is named Raymond Evelyn. He's one of my best friends, one of my guys at my wedding. And we, like I said, we've been doing business a lot together for a long time. We had some concepts we was just kind of running through one day, and we were looking for something that we can actually build and own and cultivate. And so Just Good Coffee was born. We took this coffee business and said, yo, we're going to change the way the coffee business is ran. We're going to change the way people look at us as far as owning the entire supply chain, not a piece of it. That's where we mess up as a culture. We only own a piece of it. So when you only own a Shopify store and you don't own the merchant account and you don't own the actual back end of the supply chain and everything like that, that's where you get owned, and that's where you actually cannot have the full profit capability that you put out there. So what we built something with partners that we actually own a portion of the supply chain, right? We actually own the direction of the business. So that means our vision can go forward. It's three of us in this business, myself, Ray, which is the CEO, and then Marcus Reeves, which is the COO. And we've been in business for about a year now, but we haven't really just got to full throttle yet. We're pushing out something massive in the very near future. Within the next 60 days, we're launching this campaign. And it's going to start, and I'll kind of give a little bit about it, with a culture wall. And this culture wall, which is launching this week, is an area where we can actually place Black-owned businesses on our website hub around the entire world, not just in my backyard, where people can go to this hub and find out where the bank is in this state that's Black-owned, right? Mm-hmm. And where the coffee shop in this state is Black-owned. Yeah. Right, where the educational places, where the restaurants, everything that's Black-owned is there. Because again, if we own the supply chain and we actually start maneuvering our dollar within that community, it'll stay there a lot longer than where it is now. I mean, this past research, and don't quote me on this because I haven't looked at it in a while, our dollar stays in our community for a very short amount of time.
Yes,
you know, and the reason why is we're so quickly to invest our money into something that we don't even know where it derived from, opposed to putting our money into something that's owned by us all the way, 100%, full supply. You see what I'm saying?
You mentioned about owning the supply chain. Does that mean you actually growing the coffee as well?
So we have partners that are actually doing the growing for us as well, also doing the grinding and also doing the bagging, the packaging, and the shipping. Correct.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
That's very interesting. So which countries are you growing? I saw Kenya was one of the countries that you've got.
That is correct.
Coming from. What other countries are these coming from?
So we have Kenya. We have, I got a whole list somewhere. I would grab it if I have it because I don't have it on the top of my head. But I will definitely send you a list of every area that we're actually growing and cultivating from. And then I can get that to you guys so we can actually blast it on your site or anything like that.
Well, yeah, and what's good about that is that you're providing employment.
Correct.
To those people in those countries, which is wonderful.
Mm-hmm. Oh, yeah. And like I said,
is it a fair trade price as well?
Oh, it's definitely a fair price. I have to get you our price list and send you the link so you can check it out. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? I can see you some samples for free.
Oh, that's sweet. You know, I'm in England, right?
Don't matter. I'll still send it to you.
So you're delivering coffee all over the world?
Yes, we are.
Oh, wow.
Yes, we are. I just sent some to a young lady in Maui, Hawaii. I got some customers in Australia. Like I said, our marketing has not been like to full capacity because like when we pushed it out, we got a lot of backing in Oklahoma and people are like, yo, y'all need to push this thing out and go worldwide. And so we're like, that's what we're doing right now. We're focused on getting this thing pushed out to everybody.
Okay, so tell me, is this coffee any different to the coffee that I can buy in the shops?
Most definitely different. You're gonna have some very unique flavors. You know what I mean? You're
Oh,
gonna have different types of, and like even when, and I probably shouldn't say this, but I'm gonna go ahead and say it. We finally got the deal done on providing K cups, right? So we're gonna start providing all our flavors in K cup options as well, opposed to just bags. So we got the
okay.
bag, we got the drip, we got the full bean and the grind. You know, so now we're gonna do the K cups, and then also we have merch and things like that as well.
Okay, okay. Well,
Yeah.
that's interesting. So the plan, I suppose, is to try and get it into all the coffee shops as well and restaurants, as well as
That is definitely the
F&Bs.
plan. That is definitely planned. Like we thought about opening up a brick and mortar, you know, and that may happen eventually in the future. But right now we're sticking strictly online, and we got a few wholesale deals here in Oklahoma. I can't put out the names because the deals haven't been fully abreast yet, but we have secured a lot of different locations, and those launches are happening within the next 30 days. And so we're going to be sold locally in a lot of different restaurants and different coffee places, things like that.
Okay. Going back to the Instagram for Just Good Coffee, I noticed that you guys were putting out a notice that you were selling the coffee, and 100% of the income was going to go to help people during the COVID crisis. And I thought to myself, how are these guys going to make money if 100% of the income was
Correct.
going to help others? So
Correct.
basically,
And
you're
so
investing in this.
we have a major backing. People that are in our community are backing us 100%. They have
Oh,
fueled the money into this campaign. And like you said, like yes, that's
oh.
100% correct. We are investing in our own product, and we're investing into our community. You know, so a lot of the sales we have like two different charities that we're giving to, and two different people, two different companies that are actually like supporting this disaster that's going on right now with this pandemic.
Okay, so
Yeah.
you're talking to corporates as well to get them to order the next year's supply from you. Yeah,
Most definitely.
like Goldman Sachs and Morgan Stanley and Bank of America. Talk to them as well, because I'm sure they use
Hey,
a lot of coffee, don't they?
oh, you already know they do.
Of course, of course.
It's only a matter of time.
Once their staff get back in the offices, because I know a lot of them are still working from home, but
Oh yeah. And I mean, coffee is what, number two most traded commodity in the world, you know, next to I think crude oil. You know, so the coffee bean itself is definitely a need. And it's crazy because like it's not something that you need to survive. But trust me, a lot of people in the Forex world and everybody in the corporate world, period, are just basic coffee drinkers. Like people drink coffee. It's a drink of choice. It happens like so much. It's ridiculous.
okay. So I'm being slightly selfish here. I need to ask, do you do a decaf version?
We don't have one yet, but we will have one.
Okay.
We will have one. It's funny because somebody else asked me that about 2 weeks ago if we're going to come up with a decaf line. And we have a few products we've been looking at and testing into, making sure the quality is up to par. And once we do that, we'll be launching that as well.
Yeah, because I only drink decaf, but I'd like to support you.
Hey, thank you so much. I appreciate that.
Oh, you're welcome. You're welcome. Okay, so you've been doing that for about a year.
hmm
Okay, all right. So tell me about real estate. How long have you been doing that?
So real estate started when I was 20 years old, and I bought my first home pretty young, and I was really just
Yeah, that was last
tired of
year,
paying
wasn't
rent.
it?
Huh?
That was last year, wasn't it?
I wish. But thank you though. I ain't gonna tell you my age, but
That's
I'm not
fine.
40.
I'm not asking.
Yeah. I'm not as old. I'm not old. I promise. I'm not too old. Whatever you consider old, I guess. I feel like I'm 20 still, to be honest with you. You
Hmm.
know. But when I bought this home, it was I found a realtor, and I was just like, yo, I want a home. I was working at a grocery store. They wasn't making much money, but they approved me for a home. I had two roommates, and we moved in all together, and it was great until they had to move out, right? And when they moved out, it was like, yo, I forget I'm the only person on this mortgage, so I'm responsible for it. I couldn't afford it. You know, I was only working at Albertsons at the time, the grocery store, and I was trying to figure out a way to get out of this home. And it was to the point where I couldn't afford gas, right? So I had heater fans heating my home up when I was going to work, right? And I mean, literally the biggest like fire hazard period, like with these little electric heaters in every room of my home, you know. Then on top of that, like hot water, you know, I would have to go to a parent's house and use hot water, just come back home. I was proudful. I was like, nah, I'm gonna figure this out. I got myself in this mess, right? The banks came calling, yo, you about to default on your home loan, your mortgage, you know. So it's like, what do you need to either do this, or you're gonna have to default, we're gonna have to foreclose on it, you know. So I got to the point where I was like, yo, I gotta figure out something. So I started just working on the home. Ended up like renovating the kitchen because I was talking to a realtor trying to get it sold, get it out from underneath me so I can get back in a good spot. Long story short, I ended up renovating the home by myself and I sold the house. I bought it for like $60,000 and I put about $10,000 into it of like just my hard savings because I didn't care. I just wanted to get out of the situation, right? And so me getting out the situation, I had to figure out a way to actually say, okay, can I actually sell this home, make any kind of money to make sure I have another place to stay? I don't need $500 to give me an apartment or something, right? So I ended up selling the house and didn't really understand the numbers, didn't know nothing about flipping houses and any of that. Went to the closing table. They gave me a check for like $30,000. And I'm sitting here looking and I'm like, what's this? Oh, this is your, you know, the equity of the home. I'm like, what are you talking about? They were like, oh, you flipped the house. You had a ton of equity in it. I was like, I just painted the kitchen and I, you know, did some painting on the cabinets and things like that. What I didn't know is that the neighborhood I was in, the equity was just going up. It was a really nice neighborhood, you know. So when I got introduced to that, the young lady that was my realtor, which is still my mentor to this day, she said, hey, do you know what you just did? I'm like, I don't. After she explained it to me, it was no turning back. That was my introduction into real estate. And then once I did that one flip, which is an accident, you know, I kept that money and I ended up starting like a real estate company. And I went and bought another home with one of my best friends. And we bought that home and we ended up keeping that home. We renovated it for a few thousand. I ended up getting pulled into a government career, which I got my income went up, right? And so I was able to afford a home, bought another home, moved into that one, repeated the process. But this time I knew what I was doing, or I knew a little bit more about what I was doing. Ended up flipping that house and then buying another one with my close friend as well. And we ended up renting that house. Mm-hmm. And then from there, Six Investments LLC was born. And I started building a real estate portfolio. I knew just from talking to different mentors that you want to have assets to pay for your liabilities, right? So if I started doing the math on a rental property where I was making $300 to $600 a month, $700 a month in some cases, and I times that by the number of properties I have, I can replace my career. I can replace a lot of incomes, and I can still do multiple things because I can hire a property management company to free up my time to take care of that portfolio. You know, so that's exactly what I did. I started hiring a team of people. And then since then, it's been just building and building and building and building. And of course, I was tying in Forex to do the same thing. I had a few other ventures that I was doing along the way. I was doing some nightlife stuff for a long time. I had a company called 06 Entertainment. I had owned a club for a little while. I used a lot of real estate money and Forex money to invest in things like that. But I always gravitated back to assets in Forex. Yeah. So that's when I said, yo, I'm wiping my hands of everything else, and I'm focusing on the things that I know that are, one, going to bless my family and set us up for generational wealth, because I came from nothing, you know? And then number two, where I can inspire as many people as I possibly can to take their financial freedom into their own hands.
That's amazing. You've got a really good business brain on you. You know that?
Oh, I appreciate that. Thank you.
But I was a bit surprised that they gave you the 30,000 check and you were like, oh, where's this come from? You didn't realize you'd made a profit then, huh?
No, I thought it was.
They could have taken that money and said bye.
Right, I know, right? I shouldn't have asked no questions. I was young. I was just like, is this for real? Is this mine? What am I supposed to do with it? I'm supposed to give it to somebody? I was confused. You know, I'm a young kid, you know, not knowing what's going on.
Wow.
Yeah.
But well done with that. Well done. And I think over the next 20 years or so, you're going to be quite a formidable force.
I appreciate that. That's definitely the plan.
I expect you to be hitting billionaire status.
Hey, blessings to you. Blessings to you. Look, as long as I can do as long as I can inspire people along the way, that's really what motivates me.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I've always been told to like speak to people. I've always been told that I have a gift to actually help people and inspire people. So I didn't take that for granted when I kept on getting those confirmations from family and from friends and people I don't even know. And it's motivational. It's like, yo, I have a reason to fight. I have a reason to keep going, you know?
Yeah. Well done. Well done. So how have you and your family managed during the COVID-19 crisis? Because as you know, everywhere is affected. And I know America's had a really rough end of the stick, so to speak, with over 110 people dead. And I understand over 2 million cases now. How's your family managed?
You know, when this first happened, it really freaked my family out. You know, we were staying home, we wasn't going anywhere. We went to the store once or twice to try to load up on water and food and things like that because we didn't know what was coming, you know. But one thing that we took advantage of was the time and the focus, right? We had just launched Pipology like literally a month before all this happened. And it was like, yo, it's time to grind. So opposed to doing what most people have been promoting, and that's Netflix and chill, quarantine and chill and stuff like that, I said, nah, we're gonna quarantine and thrive. That's what we're gonna do. We're gonna level up during this time. We're not gonna look at the distractions of outside. We're gonna take this time of being locked in our homes to build new businesses. You know what I mean? To build awareness of what we're doing in the Forex community, in the real estate community. You know, I help my wife, you know, she's been building her own ebook for her fitness plan. She's a fitness instructor, you know, so she's got that done. Like we trying to move to the next level, you know, and at the end of the day, if we can take this time and actually be productive during it, you can only imagine what can happen when the world all the way opens back up. You know, now we can go out and bless other people and travel the world and go and talk to other people and put that awareness in there in the atmosphere of what you can do if you have the time to do it or if you make the time to do it. Just because the world is almost open back up doesn't mean you can't focus for 30 days, 60 days, 90 days and build something massive. We build in Pipology. I tell the fellas all the time, and I can't really talk the numbers, but we built in Pipology, the growth has been so massive where it's changing so many people's lives. I get messages all the time. I get one from a guy this morning. It was like, bro, bless you. I literally just quit my job. I make more money a day in Forex than I do in a month. Thank you, because y'all did that for us, right? When I get messages like that, it lets me know I'm doing something right. It lets me know that I'm blessing other people, which means I have no breaks at all. It's straight gas right now.
Wow. But I do hope you take time out to relax as well, because that's really important. You know?
Oh yeah, balance is key. I get chastised by the missus a lot. You know, we actually going out of state this next week to kind of get a little break from, you know, the day-to-day stuff, you know. But it's like I said, when you love what you do, it really don't feel like work, you know.
So you said your wife is a fitness instructor?
Correct. She's a personal trainer.
Has she been doing it online? Has she been training people online?
So she trains people online now. She used to do it in person a lot about a year back, but now she's more focused to do it online and grow her portfolio that way.
Does she have a YouTube channel?
She is about to launch one. Yeah, she got some things on there right now, but she's about to go full throttle with it. Yeah, we're gonna make some noise with that.
Okay, that's good. That's good, because I know that there's some people on YouTube that are doing really well with that. So I'm sure she'll take off.
Oh,
what about the situation with regards to George Floyd and Black Lives Matter? I mean, what a turn up for the books. Who would have imagined the things that are happening now? What are your thoughts on that?
You know, it's a sensitive subject, of course. You know what I mean? A lot of people are standing up and a lot of people are saying so many positive things right now in the African-American community. I have a few frat brothers. One of my frat brothers is actually running for mayor in Tulsa. Rico Wright, close frat brother of mine, and I'm very proud to know him and see what he's doing down in Tulsa, where Black Wall Street was at. You know what I mean? But as far as the situation at hand, it's disgusting. You know, it really opened up my eyes to how racism is still relevant. You know, it doesn't scare me because I kind of knew it, but it really shows us that we have to change. And in order to change, we have to take our resources and our finances very, very serious, right? And in order to do that, we have to come together and start sharing our currency within our community, right? And I'm not going to be the advocate guy that's going to say, you know, we're not going to spend money at any other, you know, racist business or anything like that. That's not the point of this. The point of this in my head and what I think, as far as my opinion, is to really, really watch who is to the left, the right of you, right? Because people on this earth are very evil right now. And these people are showing you their colors. You don't have to do anything. You just got to watch. Just pay attention. Pay attention. You know who's for you, who's not for you. You know, one of the calls that I do on tonight, matter of fact, it's a community, and I always tell them, this community is not black, it's not white, it's not Asian, it's not Hispanic, it's all of us. We all bleed the same blood, right? And we all have the same goals in mind when you have a commonality, and that's freedom. Right? Whatever freedom means to you, if that's having finance to go travel and spend time with your family more, if that's being able to have enough just to actually live, if that's being able to have enough to be able to start our own business or anything like that, that's what I preach a lot about. Get rid of all the things you see on social media and tune in to an hour of nothing but positivity, because we don't have that right now. Every time I look on social media, the only thing I see is somebody promoting something negative. And when I see this negative about what's happening in the Black Lives Matter community and all that type of stuff, I don't want to see that. What I want to see is us holding hands and coming together. What I want to see is marches and things like that. I have a close friend named Wayne Cherry. You call him Wayne in this thing. He's a huge celebrity DJ in Oklahoma City. He just did a huge like car show rally on 23rd Street by Martin Luther King down in Oklahoma City. And the whole purpose of that was to bring people together on something that's commonly loved in the community, and that's cars, right? He shut down the whole street. The news was out there. People were coming together, like having water stations, and it was no violence. It was no protesting of anything negative. It was all love. That's the type of stuff I want to see on my timeline. That's the type of stuff that I'll talk about on my calls. And that's the movement that I want to be a part of. Those are the type of movements I want to do. I don't want to go in the middle of the night and go and look for a cop to mess with me just so I can get views on Instagram, or just so I can say, oh, they did something to me. You know, like, we got to be mindful of how we move as a culture, and we cannot get in the way of that, because I don't want to see anybody else get hurt. Right. And if these cops are doing things like that intentionally, which a few of them definitely are, I mean, it's all over the news. It's very, very vital. It's very, very relevant. You got to stay 6 feet away from them. You know what I mean? Like, I don't want to condone it. Right. So what do? I put blinders on, and I only focus on what I see that is positive in our community. Those are the things that I attach to. Because if we ain't going to do any change, we're going to be the same.
Yes, I understand that. And certainly when we set up Black Economics, we wanted to focus on people who were doing great things, entrepreneurship in particular, because we believe that's a way to actually help the Black community as a whole. You know, we're not always bottom of the pile. There are a lot of people who are actually doing very, very well and have good stories to tell. And we wanted to share those stories.
Most definitely.
But I have found that recently we've had to address the Black Lives Matter situation and the protests and so on, because you kind of have to stay with the news, and people want to know your views, and they want to hear what people are saying, which will lift them up. So we've covered that as well. But yes, like you, we always want to focus on what is positive and how we can lift people up. So you have a good point there. So I think in terms of looking at lasting change, what message would you have for Black people who are watching or listening to this interview? What message would you say to them to help them get lasting change in their lives? Because everybody's at a particular level. Some are at the bottom, some are mid-level, some are actually doing very well. But, you know, the sky's the limit. You could do even better than you're doing now. So what would you say to them?
So honestly, my takeaway on that is this. In order to enforce change, we have to change first as a community. And we need to come together like we're doing on these protests and start buying back the block, start buying back community, start controlling the economics, start controlling the supply chain, right? Like, we can go and start our own tech companies. We can go and start our own merchant companies, our own payment processors, our own banks, more banks, right? We have the resources to do it. We just have to actually do what? Work together. And that's what's happening right now. I have no doubt in my mind, people are going to start coming together and they're going to start building things that they run the entire supply chain on. I'm seeing it right now. I think I've seen a social media app come out that's ran by African Americans. I'm seeing businesses pop up left and right. You know, like my business is, it's ran by 3 African Americans giving financial literacy. Like, I will give anybody access to my FX book if you know what that means. Like, I have a very high win rate on what I'm doing, right? But I'm pumping that money back into my community. Last year alone, I can't really say the number because my wife would probably kill me, but I bought a block. Just put it like that. And the reason I invested like that is because I wanted to have, and the area I invested was on the side of town that a lot of people wouldn't mess with. I ain't gonna say the area because that area is home to me. That area is safe for me. And all of my tenants in my rental properties, they love where they are. And my goal is to not only buy blocks, multiple blocks, my goal is to start buying these different commercial buildings, start buying into apartment complexes, start running things in a way where we all can actually create jobs for ourselves and also create generational wealth. Because a lot of people that I know that I grew up at, we didn't grow up with that silver spoon. We didn't like get born into a family that had money or had legacy or had any kind of wealth. Like, I grew up in a family where it was like, it was either noodles or it was eggs. And I was making fish omelets and all kind of crazy stuff, like, as a kid. And I was like, I will never go back to that again. So how am I going to change, and how am I going to inspire others to change, right? And I don't care what color you are, because just because I'm African American doesn't mean a Caucasian or an Hispanic is not feeling the same pain that I'm feeling. That's why they relate with me when I'm talking to people, because we all are going through some sort of disjustice in this world right now. Right? We have to change the laws, right? We have to get out and make sure not only to vote, because understand what the agenda is when you seeing what's coming down. Just because you see things coming down and everybody's Black Lives Matter and all these different politicians are putting on these cloths, and I'm just going to leave it at that, doesn't mean they're for you. Okay? It doesn't mean that. You need to dig a little deeper. I'm not going to go into what I think, because at that point you probably think I'm a conspiracy theorist. But I will tell you this. I and my family and the people that I have influenced are moving together as a unit to change the financial look of things, to change how we buy, like renting and owning and things like that. Like, you got to understand the difference of what you're doing in this world and how to actually build a vehicle that can produce financial freedom and generational wealth for legacies to come. I got 2 nephews. My brother just had another son. And it's like, it's very important to me that if I leave this earth, he inherits that. My family inherits my portfolio. My family inherits my businesses. Even with Pipology, we're not building Pipologies for us. We're building it for the people. And those people are every color. So that's what I would like to give to the public, anybody that may be watching this eventually, to know what I'm about and how I move. It's not about me. It's not about just my family. It's about the world coming together and working together to get rid of racism, to get rid of poverty, to get rid of that lower class. There doesn't have to be a such thing as poverty. We were placed in it.
And what would you say specifically to white people in this current climate?
Honestly, what I would say to them is, be for us, not against us. The ones that are against us, they will be reprehended. They will be outed. I don't have to do that work. My God does that work. I don't have to worry about looking to them, because at the end of the day, the ones that are for me are going to gravitate to me. Okay? The ones that are against me, God is going to deflect for me. So I don't have to worry about it.
I see you have a strong faith.
I do.
Okay.
Definitely.
So you're part of a church?
Oh, yeah. I go to People's Church here in Oklahoma City.
Okay. How long you been going there?
For a few years now. Yeah, I watch online right now, of course, but been going for a few years. My family has.
Okay, that's great. That's great. So, what is your mission in life? I think you've answered that a little, but how many people are you affecting now, and how many people do you hope to affect, say, in a year's time, and then in 10 years' time?
So right now, I don't have, I can go off of the people in my community, but there's so many people we're touching right now. If I had to put a number against it, I'd say we've already reached hundreds of thousands of people. But my goal is not to reach hundreds of thousands. My goal is to reach millions. And people look at me when I say that and say, what do you mean reach millions? I'm like, I want millions of people to hear my voice. I want to be on a stage one day. I want to talk to these kids. I want to get people prepared to understand what life truly is outside of going the normal routine of high school, college, career, and then retiring in 40 years. There's so much more to that. I'm not saying those things are bad. I'm saying those things give you structure. But also, when you believe in yourself and invest in yourself, you'll start seeing abundance that will come in and you don't even know how to close the door. It's so much abundance coming in, right? So my near term is what I'm doing right now, getting an opportunity to talk to you, right? My future term is getting an opportunity to talk to people like you, but with a forum on this call like this with hundreds of thousands of people, right? And then life term, we're talking multi-millions, not dollars, influence, people. How can I inspire? How can I do change? Just because you don't have to be a celebrity to have influence, right? I don't care if I only influence 10 people. If I influence those 10 to change their life, I did something right.
Well, that's right. And those 10 will go and influence another 10, and so the ripple will
exactly.
Continue. So well
Pay it
done.
forward.
Oh, I love what you're doing. Thank you so much for sparing the time to talk to me. And I know that what you're saying will really resonate with a lot of people. And we are making this available for people around the world. So you never know how far your reach will be, and people will be contacting you for something or the other, I'm sure. Whether it's
I'm looking forward to it.
Or coffee or real estate advice, you know, they'll be contacting you. So thank you so much.
Thank you for the opportunity. I really appreciate it.
Yeah, may you grow and multiply 100 times every week.
Blessings, blessings. Thank you.
You take care and stay in touch.
I definitely will. Thank you so much.
Take care. Bye.
Bye-bye.
This work is by Kevin Tomlin, who is a music historian, artist, and art teacher.